Hey there, welcome to my channel. This is Acrylic Crochets, and today's tutorial is gonna be all about how to crochet this fishnet, crochet sleeves, or crochet shrug, or crochet bolero. It's got a lot of names, I think. So this is how it looks like when you wear it. You can catch a few more pics on my Instagram, which is also at Acrylic Crochets. Yeah, so this is a video of how it looks like when you wear it, and we're going to be jumping into the tutorial. And if you're new here, please do not forget to subscribe. So we are going to be needing a very tiny strand of yarn, so I'm going to be using 2 strands instead of 1, and I'm going to be using a 3.5 hook, and I'm going to be using a darning needle. It's just a bonus. All you need are these 2. So first you're going to make a slip knot, and after making a slip knot you are going to make a chain which is half your bust. And for my case, I'm a bust of 34, sometimes 35, I don't know, but that's it. So I'm going to be making a chain that's going to measure around 17 or 18 would be fine. So you're going to measure your bust, and then you're going to make a chain which is half that. So this is around 18 inches, and that is okay for my size, and these are 70 chains actually. After that you're going to yarn over, and you're going to count from here and 10. So this is the 10th chain. You're going to go into the 10th chain with a double crochet. So after that, this counts as a chain and a fishnet. I don't know how to say it. 1. So you're going to make a chain of 3, 2 and 3, and after that you're going to skip the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and go into the 4th stitch or chain with a double crochet. After that, chain 3, and again you're going to skip the next 3 stitches and go into the 4th stitch with a double crochet. So I'm going to be doing this all the way until row 1 is done. Coming to the end of row 1, we have 4 stitches left. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a chain of 3 and go into the 4th chain. Of course you have to skip 3 chains and go into the 4th chain or stitch with a double crochet. So row 1 is done. So you should be having something like this. So second row, you're going to make a chain of 6, 3, 4, 5 and 6, then turn your work. So we are going to begin working on row 2. So what you're going to be doing here is you're going to skip 1. Remember, we chain 3. In that chain 3 space, you're going to skip 1 chain and go into that middle, which is the second chain 3. Oh my god, it's on the second, it's the second chain when you are chaining 3. So after that double crochet, chain 3, after that you're going to skip the next 3 stitches and go, you can see how clear it is, 3 stitches, go into the 4th stitch. So the 4th stitch is situated in the exact middle of the chain 3 space, and that's what we really want. So that's what you're going to be doing. And then again skip 3 stitches and go into the 4th stitch and place your double crochet. So I'm going to be doing this, and I'll meet you towards the end. So you can see that I'm chaining into the stitch itself and not into the chain 3 space. So this makes a big difference, because when you're wearing it, in most cases when it's a little bit tight and you're wearing it, the fishnet seems to be a little bit not in shape, but when you put it inside the stitch itself, when you're stitching into the stitches themselves, it comes out clearly even if the cloth is tight or loose. So here we are going to the fourth stitch, which is also in the exact middle of the chain 3 space. So after that you're going to count 3 stitches and then go into the fourth stitch. So it's that simple. And 4. So go into the fourth stitch right here. You can see I'm leaving out only one, and I'm taking the V with me. So it's up to you how you go into it, but just make sure that you go into that stitch and not chain into the chain 3 space just. So the next thing for row 3, I'm going to be repeating row 2, which is chain 6, turn your work, and just do the same thing. So if you want to grasp that clearly, you can rewatch that part, but yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing until I come up with 8 rows. So these are my 8 rows, and when I measure, they are around 5 inches long and they are 15 inches wide. But remember, when I was starting, it was around 18 inches. So put that into consideration when you're making this. So now we are going to be making our neckline, and so far we have 3 boxes, but I want it to be 4 boxes. So you're going to make I have a chain 1 already, so 2, 3 chains and go into the 4th stitch, which is also in the middle of the next box. Please note that I'm going into the stitch and not just into the middle of chain 3 space. So we have 4 boxes, and this side we are going to be needing 4 boxes too, so we need that before we can calculate. So those are 4 boxes the other side. We also need 4 boxes this side on the left side. So you're going to count. Remember, I'm chaining into the middle, so our 4th box is going to be stopping, like you begin from here. That's like 1, 2, 3 and 4. Remember, I'm working into stitches, so that is a little more easier to understand. So I'm going to attach my stitch marker and mark it off, and after that I'm going to count the remaining number of stitches. And 4, like you can see, there will be 4 boxes. I hope that doesn't confuse you. And we have 4 boxes the other side. So that stitch is off the hook, we do not count it. You can see we won't count it, but instead we are going to begin counting from this one right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31 and 32. So we are going to be making a chain of 32. So please make a chain of 32. So that's if you're following my measurements, but you can count yours and then yeah. So make a chain of 32. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to be making a chain of 32 before I attach it onto the other part where I place the stitch marker. So these are my 32, so you can see it's a bit corresponding. Then I'm going to yarn over, and after yarning over I'm going to go into this part where I had placed my stitch marker. I'm going to go into it with a double crochet. place your double crochet, and after that I'm going to just continue as usual. That's chain 3, skip the next 3 stitches, go into the 4th stitch with a double crochet, and I'm gonna do this up to the end of this row. This is like row 9, but I don't count it. So you can see this is what we have. You can count your boxes, 4 boxes this side, count this side, 4 boxes that side, so that's good. Now we are going to begin working on the back panel. This was the front panel, and it's the same thing. You're going to make a chain of 6 and then turn your work, and after turning your work you're going to do the same thing we've been doing. Skip 1 stitch, go into the next stitch with a double crochet, After that I'm going to make a chain of 3, and after making a chain of 3 nothing's gonna change. You're going to count 3 stitches, like, let me show you, yarn over 1 2 3 and go into the 4th stitch. It's really that simple. You can see the 4th stitch is 2 stitches away from the chain we made, so, or 1 stitch away. I think it should be 1 stitch away, so yeah, continue to do that. Chain 3 and skip the next 3 stitches, go into the 4th stitch with a double crochet, chain 3 and skip the next 3 stitches, go into the 4th stitch with a double crochet, and I'm gonna be doing this until the chain is done. So here we are. You're going to count 3 stitches and then go into the 4th stitch. This is actually the last stitch that we are working into, on the part of the chain I should say. So after that make a chain of 3. So now we are getting off the chain. So now you're gonna count 1 2 3 and 4. Just go into the 4th stitch, which is also in the middle of the previous fishnet box. I hope that makes sense. After that, chain 3 and just continue doing the same thing up to the end of row 1. This does count as row 1 for the back panel, so continue until you're done with this row. After that, for row 2, you're going to be chaining 6 and turn your work, and then you're going to be repeating row 2, simply really the previous row 2 that we did, until you come up with like the front panel is 8 rows. We don't count the 9th row because that counts as our neckline, and then for the back panel we have 1 row so far, so that means 7 more rows to go. But you can make it as big as you want or as small as you want. Another thing you need to make sure you put into consideration is if you start with 16 boxes, you should count when it has 16 boxes by the end, like by the time you finish your project, they should be the same number of boxes that you started with. So when you're done, you're going to be joining your work. So you're going to crop your back panel or front panel, and you're going to insert your hook, and after inserting your hook you're going to make a slip stitch. And after making a slip stitch, now this is joining. This is how we join. You can join in whichever way you really want to. Nothing changes. So after that I'm going to be using slip stitches, but you can use a single crochet method. So I'm going to be slip stitching this part together, and you can see it kind of corresponds, so it makes things easy for you. And don't take too much yarn with you because it will look a bit huge. So just take a little from each side and slip stitch. Again, come here. Like, you can slip stitch as much or as little as you want. Just make sure that when you put it on, your arm is going through. That's what really matters. Slip stitch, and I'm going to continue slip stitching. We have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 boxes. That's a little bit too huge, but you can do 15 if you want, or you can do little if you want. So yeah, for my case I'll take 15 with me, and after that I'm going to make a chain of 3. And after making a chain of 3, yarn over and come in the middle of this box. As you can see, this marks our first round of the sleeve, but you can see that I'm not working into the stitch, but I'm rather working into the spaces. So please mark that for round 1. So I'm going to be double crocheting into each and every box, but remember to chain 3, double crochet into the next box, like that. So we are coming to the end of round 1. This is like our last box. After that, chain 3. So when we chain 3, we are coming back to where we started from. Remember the chain 3 started with? Yeah, now that's what you're working into. After my double crochet, that's round 1 is done. So you're going to chain 3, and I'm going to begin counting now. So make sure that you count. We are supposed to be crocheting 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like, I'm going to be going into the middle stitch of the next box. Into the middle stitch, please mark that because it's really important. So continue doing that. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go into the 4th. As I say, the 4th stitch is the middle stitch of the chain 3 space of each and every box. So that's what we are going to be double crocheting into, but not double crocheting into the whole space as a whole. If there's anything you don't understand, please feel free to drop it in the comment section down below. I'll be so glad to get back to you. And if you have anything to say, just anything, suggestions, yeah, just drop it in the comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So continue. We are coming to the end of row 2. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and this is what we have. You see, 4 stitches, a double crochet. So we are going to continue doing this all around our work until we come up with the desirable number of rows that we need. So yeah, this is what we have. Just continue the procedure, and I'll be doing the same one to the other side, and then I'll meet you when I'm done. So this is what I did. You can see this is the neckline, the lower part, and this is the sleeve. When you count, these are 32 rows actually, so I just want to show you how to finish it off. So here we are. After chaining 3, I'm going to go into this chain 3 space with a slip stitch, and after that I'll make a chain of 1 and then cut off my yarn. So after cutting yarn, pull up the loop and stiffen it off. So that's my one sleeve is done, and the other sleeve is done. So you just do the same thing, nothing changes. Yeah, you can see how it looks like. The fishnets are so in place, you can see, and that's what really makes the difference about a fishnet stitch. So this is what you'll be having, and the next thing we are going to be weaving in the ends, which is really simple to do. And also do not forget, as I said, if you have anything to say, drop it in the comment section down below, and I'll be so glad to get back to you. And if there's anything like you do not understand, also do the same. Thank you. So continue to weave in your ends in whichever way that you like. And want to be so steady because I'm going to be taking it out anytime and using the end for something else. So just weave in your ends, and after you can stiffen it off in any way or just cut it off. So I'm going to be doing the same thing for each and every yarn that needs to be woven in. So, and after that, yeah, my crochet fishnet sleeves bolero shrug is done. And yeah, if there's anything you gotta say, I'm so available. So now I'm gonna just measure it, and we see how much it is measuring for the sleeves only. And that's around 22 inches without the body part. Without the body, yeah, without the body and not the body part. It's 22 inches, but then remember it can really stretch, so keep that in mind. So thank you for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe, and you can also suggest anything you want to see me crochet. Yes, so yeah, this is Maureen, and thank you for watching.